Well, one of those critics, Senator John McCain, is here and only here. Welcome, everybody. I'm Neil CAVUTO, and if Ambassador Susan Rice thought that today's meeting would clear the air on Benghazi, she was sorely mistaken, because Senators John McCain, Lindsey Graham, and Kelly Ayotte now say they are more troubled than ever. And that is spelling some trouble for the woman who might just be our next Secretary of State. The same person who initially blamed an anti-Muslim film for fueling a spontaneous demonstration at the U.S. consulate in Libya, and not a planned terrorist attack. An attack that left U.S. Ambassador Chris Stevens and 3 other Americans dead. And today those senators are demanding answers. In a first on Fox, Arizona Republican Senator, former presidential candidate John McCain, who was at that meeting. Senator, you didn't seem to get a lot out of that.
No, I did not. Not what I had hoped. By the way, I thought you were the sexiest man alive, according to him.
You know, I was annoyed by that. I was encouraged, Senator, that he's a bit chunky. This could be paving the way, but enough about me. What did you make?
Maybe you were separated at birth.
Well, that's
anyway,
fine. This is going to be a tough interview now, Senator. It would have been nice, but you've gone the other way. There's frustration that she actually called for the meeting, right? I thought it would be a good idea to, talk to Republican leaders, yourself included. It seemed a boomerang. What happened?
Well, some of the answers were hard to understand. Some of the information that she had access to clearly contradicted the statement that she made. By the way, today, after all this time, she issued a statement, and in that statement she said she had given false information to the American people about the spontaneous demonstration, which obviously never took place. But for example, she also said on nationwide television that Al-Qaeda was decimated. That's just patently false. And I asked why that statement should be made to the American people, and she really had no good answer for it. There was lots of classified information that she gets briefed on daily that indicated that this was not a hateful video that sparked a spontaneous demonstration. I still don't understand why anyone would believe, when you come with mortars and rocket-propelled grenades, how that could possibly be viewed as a spontaneous demonstration. So there's a lot of layers to this onion.
You know, we tried for Ambassador Rice. We did get a statement from her office, Senator, quoting here, "While we certainly wish that we had perfect information just days after the terrorist attack, as is often the case, the intelligence assessment has evolved." What do you think?
Well, that's another really big question in this whole scenario. Why would it have evolved? There were people who were survivors of the consulate, who were flown to Germany, who were interviewed by the FBI. And they said absolutely there was no demonstration. Yet for a couple of weeks, the intelligence community seemed to be wrestling with signal intelligence and other classified information that they had, which led them to wait 2 weeks before they could come out and say that there was no spontaneous demonstration, that this was a planned attack by Al-Qaeda. Again, who changed the talking points that was used by Ambassador Rice, and why, and on what circumstances? Why was references to Al-Qaeda left out? There's so many things that have happened, and the interesting thing is, finally, Neil, we knew within hours of all the details when we got bin Laden in the raid there. Every bit of one of them. They're making a movie out of it. Now here we are 10 weeks later, and finally our ambassador of the United Nations, who appeared on every national Sunday show, has now said that she gave false information concerning how this tragedy happened, as far as the spontaneity of a demonstration triggered by a hateful video.
Well, the president got upset by yours and others going after her, saying that if you have a problem, you should go after him. You pointed out in a prior visit here that she was the person they put out on all these weekend shows right after the attacks. You think she was the right person?
Well, she admitted herself, and the president said that she had nothing to do with Benghazi. That's another question that needs to be asked. Why was she sent out if she really had nothing to do with Benghazi? But also there was clear classified information that indicated that this was a terrorist attack from the beginning. Look, how could the FBI possibly not tell the CIA what the survivors said within 2 days after the tragedy, and that is that there was no demonstration? It's mind-boggling, some of it.
Now, she might be the president's choice to succeed Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State. If that were the case, would you support her?
Well, I think everybody gets to, one, be nominated, and two, go through the hearings and go through the debate and discussion. But right now, I would be very hard-pressed.
If it were John Kerry, would you support him?
Again, let's go through the process. John Kerry came within a whisker of being President of the United States. I think that works in his favor. But I'd love to hear him make his case. But I don't have anything in his background like this tragedy in Benghazi that would make me really want to carefully examine the whole situation.
By the way, you know him pretty well. It's talk that he wanted you to be on his ticket in 2004. But do you know if he's frustrated that he could be passed up for the Secretary of State position twice?
No, I think John has been very careful about his views on this situation, and appropriately so. I've not heard him express any view.
If I could move on to Grover Norquist, a lot more of your colleagues are taking a different step on this pledge thing, and that they can't agree to that anymore. Half dozen by latest count, you among them. What do you think of him?
Oh, I admired Grover Norquist. I think he stood for the things that he believes in, and he has a role to play in the scenario of the Republican Party. Look, I have always been against ethanol subsidies, sugar subsidies, all of those things that I thought were wasteful, unnecessary, and frankly, the result of special interest. And I still am opposed to rate increases, as I told you. But all of my career, I've gone to the floor and fought against these unwarranted subsidies that were directly a result of lobbying rather than the national good.
So you disagree with him when he says getting rid of those credits, allowances, breaks, whatever you want to call it, Senator, without corresponding spending cuts, breaks the pledge?
I don't know if it breaks the pledge or not, but I have said that I'm opposed to tax rates increase because I think it hurts the economy, and I think most economists that I respect believe that. But throughout my career, I've gone to the floor time after time on these appropriations bills and these farm bills that have these pork earmarks, these terrible and egregious subsidies, which I have opposed all along, and I'm sure Grover has been very well aware of that.
He has, actually, in the conversations mentioning you, he has said that. The one thing it does concern him, though, is that Republicans seem to be running around like their tail between their legs after the election and acquiescing on revenues, letting the Democrats steamroll them. And he says they're going to pay for that 2 years from now. Do you feel threatened?
Well, first of all, I think Republicans have to be for some things, and we need to be for things, and we need to be for spending cuts, and we need to be for entitlement reform. That has got to be done if we're ever going to be serious about this debt issues. I don't think we should disrespect Grover Norquist any more than I believe that we should disrespect the Heritage Foundation or any other, or the American AEI or these others. I respect them. We just don't always agree. And
well, what he's saying, I think, Senator, I'm sorry, sir, I can make myself clear,
sure.
that he says that there's much more propensity to come up with creative ways to raise revenue than to cut spending, and that it's disproportionately so, and that Republicans are going along with this, like idiots. What do you say?
Well, I think, first of all, the negotiations haven't seriously begun, and people have staked out various positions, so I think we'd have to look at the product of any of these negotiations.
Well, you think we'll avoid a calamity at the end of the year?
I'm not sure. I don't think we will, because I think the markets will start to tell us that we've got to to do something because of the devastating impact of not achieving something. But I can tell you one possible scenario, and I don't like it, and that is we just kick the can down the road, you know, sort of suspend everything for X number of weeks or months. Another area that concerns me, if we don't put entitlement reform on the table, then we're not very serious. We know that Medicare and Social Security are going broke.
Senator, thank you very much. And normally, Senator, as you know, with every prominent guest I have on my show, I write them a thank you, because I really do admire that. And you just let me know prior, I don't think I'm talking out of school here, you don't like it. You don't?
No, I just think, no, it's not that at all. It's just that I don't want you to take your time that you have to devote to studying the issues and talking to Grover Norquist and all those other things. That's all. But I do appreciate the opportunity of being on your show, and I think you do a great job, and you're a fun guy.
All right. Well, the next one is going to be cutout magazine letters, Senator. So
okay.
Always a pleasure, sir. John McCain, Senator, former presidential candidate. Thank you.